The reason most people are not where they want to be is because they're either lazy, stupid, or arrogant. And the last one is where most people are. They're arrogant as motherfuckers and they won't listen to anybody. Now, why am I telling you this? Because I've been at the exact same spot that you're in. I've struggled with the exact same struggles that you're struggling with in this exact moment. So I'm making this video for my 15, 16-year-old self, because I wish I had someone in the past who had told me all of the information that I'm going to tell you. So you clicked on this video because you're interested in bulking up, right? But you gotta implement the things that I will tell you about. You gotta implement the information that I will tell you about, okay? Because if you're gonna stay arrogant and you think you'll solve everything by yourself, then you can fuck off, because it's just a waste of your time to watch this video then. I'm not gonna throw no bullshit information at you, okay? Like most guys on the YouTube do, like bullshit intro at you to keep you distracted and just increase my watch time. No, I'm gonna actually provide you with real valuable stuff. So let's get straight to the point, okay? I'm gonna split it into the 3 core topics, okay? The first one, mindset. The second, nutrition. And third is going to be the training. Now, mind you, ChatGPT could literally write you a nutrition and workout plan, program, whatever you want. We all know that. So you click on this video because ChatGPT cannot help you with accountability and mindset, which is going to be the first topic, okay? When it comes to the mindset, there are 3 core pillars that have a strong enough correlation when it comes to bulking up and getting into the best shape of your life, okay? And the first one is you need to have a strong enough why. You need to know why you're doing certain things, why you're doing certain actions, why you're getting after certain goals, desired outcomes that you want to achieve in your life. Because if you don't have a map, if you don't have a roadmap, you won't last forever. Like, you won't last for long. At some point, you will just give up. And having a strong enough why is really important on the days, on seasons in your life, weeks, months, when you feel just like things are not going your way and you feel like giving up or quitting, when in reality, the exact outcome that you want is just on the other side of 2 hard days for you to push through, And my why was actually that I was so pissed off at the situation I was in. I was so pissed off at being the person that I was, I was so embarrassed and so insecure about myself. And that made me so angry about myself that I just didn't want to be in the exact situation that I was in. And that helped me. That was enough for me. Strong enough why for me. If it's not for you, then you need to pick a strong enough why for yourself that will suit you, okay? It may be a strong enough why for you, but it may not be for someone else, And having a strong enough why isn't just enough, okay? You need to connect it with your action. You need to have a strong enough correlation between your actions and your why, because your why is going to be a strong indicator when it actually comes to implementing the things and doing the actions required to get to your desired outcome. Now, the second thing is to get on top of your routine. You need to build some kind of routine, some kind of systems, okay? You need to build some kind of structure. And I'm not Shifu from Kung Fu Panda. I'm not gonna tell you to stand on one leg and do 30-minute cold plunge and 5-minute meditation first thing in the morning, because you're just going to waste your time and it's not going to help you get into the best shape of your life, okay? But what is going to help you is to actually start the day winning and set a routine that will set you up for doing productive behaviors, productive actions that will enable you to achieve a desired outcome. Meaning, look, I wake up first thing in the morning, I do 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 1 liter of water, I eat some nutritious breakfast, I journal, set the actions for the day, and I get straight to work. It takes me 40 minutes to an hour, and that's it. And I'm sharp and I'm ready to go, And that's what I mean by building the routine. And I suggest you to start building a routine in a time of your day when you're the most unproductive, okay? Now, as you build a routine, you also learn the habit of saying no. And when you actually start to say no to things, when you actually learn to start to say no to parties, to drinking, to alcohol, to porn, maybe to scrolling, to your lust, to junk food, to losers around your life, you actually see how these puzzles then start to connect with each other. You actually have a tunnel vision. You actually have enough time to actually start doing the things that will set you forward, that will set you up for success. Because if you eliminate all of the bullshit, what stays is the productive behaviors, the productive actions that will get you to your desired outcome. And those actions will actually help you to bulk up. Now we see how this has a strong enough correlation to bulking up, because when you clear the space, when you clear off the space, what stays is you're actually focusing on nutrition. You're actually training as hard as possible, taking care of your recovery, mindset, sleep, hydration, the important things that will get you into the best shape of your life. Now, the third and the last thing is you are some of the 5 people you spend the most time with, okay? And that is so true. And like all of the people that I talk with tell me, yeah, I understand this, so many people, they understand what I'm saying, but just a few of them actually execute on it. They're like, yeah, you are some of the 5 people we spend the most time with. Anyways, here's my friend Steve. When he gets real drunk, we all laugh at him. Ha 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 ha. Like, fuck no. You're hanging around with losers. You're hanging around with dickheads. You're at the exact same place like you were 3 years ago. Okay, you maybe, I don't know, you went up in your school, you have better grades, but what the fuck does that have to do with fucking getting in the best shape of your life? It doesn't make any sense. So if they're keeping you stuck, at the exact same spot that you're in, if they're keeping you out of your shape, if they're distracting you from just for quick dopamine, if you're getting closer to your vices when you're hanging around with those people, you need to cut them off. But here's the catch. Like, you need to check your side of the table first. There genuinely can be good people in your life. There genuinely can be winners that will help you move forward. They will help you become a better person and achieve your desired outcomes. So what you need to do is actually clear your side of the table first. And what I mean by that, look if you are the problem when it comes to your friends, the people you hang around with. And if you are not the problem, if your side of the table is clean, then you're good to go. Then you're good to cut them off, Now, you see how this mindset comes together. So you actually have a why, you actually have a why for your actions. You correlate that why to your actions. You connect it to your actions. You get on top of your routine. You start the day winning every single day. So you actually think sharp. You eliminate all of the distractions. So all you have is space to do actions, to do inputs that will get you into the best shape of your life. And the last one, you don't have losers, you don't have any distractions around your life, again, that will keep you away from being in the best shape of your life. Those are the 3 most important pillars when it comes to bulking up that I actually implemented when I was starting my bulking journey. That's the first thing. So we got the mindset covered. Now it's time for the nutrition. At the foundation of all physique transformations is energy balance. Calories in versus calories out. This dictates your body weight changes. But hormones, adherence, and psychology dictate how sustainable those changes are. And your job is to control them both. But what we'll focus on is the first one, calories in versus the calories out. In order for you to bulk up, you need to be in surplus. What does that mean? You need to eat more than you burn. Your maintenance is what your body needs, is the energy your body needs in order to survive, in order to do its primarily functions, in order to survive. So what you need to do is add 10% to that, because we don't want to gain too much fat. You want to gain 10% of your maintenance to your maintenance, okay? To actually achieve your daily caloric surplus, okay? So the most important thing, first and foremost, is to track your macros. You need to know where you are. If you're not going to track your macros, you're kind of going to be bad every single day, just guessing how much you ate, and you won't have any structure. So you need to track your macros just for the first month, so you can have a feeling of how much you should eat. Then you can slowly cut off tracking your macros. That's where I meant. So Our goal is muscle gain, which means you will put yourself in a surplus, as I said, 10% above your maintenance. So make sure you don't eat too much. Again, we want to make sure that you don't gain too much fat, okay? And you actually gain the muscles required. So when it comes to macronutrient framework, I could go on and on with all of the bullshit informations, okay? So I'm gonna be very specific here. 1 gram of protein and 1 gram of carbs are 4 calories. 1 gram of fats is 9 calories, okay? Add 10% to your maintenance, that is the first step. Actually calculate how much is your maintenance. I'm gonna drop a link to BMR calculator so you can calculate how much of a surplus you need to be in, how much is your maintenance, and all of the bullshit like that, okay? So add 10% to your maintenance, 20% of those calories included the surplus. Now we are including the surplus. 20% of your surplus is going to be fats, okay? 200 grams are going to be protein, and you just fill in the rest with carbs. So let's say your surplus is 3,200 calories. Now 71 grams is going to be fats, 200 grams is going to be protein, and 440 grams is going to be carbs. I like to go for the 50 to 60% carbs, 30% protein, and 20% fats, okay? That split. It's really not complicated when you look at it when it comes to nutrition, you know? What you need to do is also use the help of liquid calories, use the help of healthy liquid calories. I don't mean monsters, I don't mean any energy drinks or smoothies from the shops that have 1,000 calories, because they're just low at nutrients, you know, at healthy nutrients. What you need to focus on is liquid calories like bulking shakes. For example, 200 milliliters of milk, you add some frozen berries, peanut butter, oats, whey protein, carbs, maltodextrin. I like to drink. You add some mixed nuts, banana, and boom, you have easy 800 to 1,000 calories in the bag, okay? Now, we got the liquid calories covered. Now it's time for the pre and for the post-workout meals, okay? When it comes to pre and post-workout meals, it is very simple. When it comes to pre-workout meals, focus primarily on the carbs to give you energy to fuel your body for the workout so you can push yourself to your max, okay? And when it comes to post-workout meals, you want to make sure you prioritize protein, high protein intake in order for your muscles to properly recover. Now, if you're someone who's busy, you know, has a busy schedule and you physically cannot eat throughout the day, okay, and it's literally impossible to you or you don't have any appetite, I suggest you to then focus on the bedtime meal, which has to be protein dominant. Yeah, which has to be protein dominant. For example, tuna with some olive oil, some whole foods bread, and then for the dessert, yogurt, berries, peanut butter, maybe some dates. That's a great example of a bedtime meal. You know, it needs to be light. You know, it needs to be light so you can actually sleep. You can actually sleep well. That's what I meant. And for the cheat meals, look, 1 to 2 times a month, a cheat meal is going to be okay, is going to be sustainable, okay? But more than that, no. A cheat meal is actually something that is different from the meals that are within your diet. That's what a cheat meal is, okay? If you eat a burger, for example, let's say if you eat a burger, if you eat fries, it needs to be within your caloric intake, okay? It needs to be within your daily caloric intake. That's the most important part. Now, we got the mindset, we got the nutrition covered, okay? The last part is training. Now, when it comes to training, I like to split it into the 3 core topics. The first topic is progressive overload. The second topic is compound movements. And the third is workout and rest days, okay? So let's get to the first one. When it comes to overloading your muscles, when it comes to adding stress to your muscles, there's many ways to that, okay? But first and foremost, you need to do that in order to grow. Because if you're still gonna bench, let's say, 200 pounds for 2 months, your chest won't grow. You won't grow because your muscles are going to be used to that. You need to add some kind of stress to them. And for that reason, there's many kinds of progressive overloads. There's overloads like adding weight. You can add reps. You can add sets. You can reduce rest periods, okay? And you can add some technique progressions, meaning more time under tension, more slow negatives, slow movements, slowly controlled movements. Personally, what I like to focus on is adding more weight and technique progression, okay? Slow negative, like first master the technique, adding the weight up, mastering the technique again, the reps are also going to be, lowered. Let's say I'm doing a bench. I bench 190 pounds. I add 10 pounds to it. That's quite a lot. I add 10 pounds. Then my reps are going to be 5 to 6 instead of 8 to 12 like they were. Then again, controlled negative, controlled movements, and I need to put those reps to 8 to 12 again, and then I add more weight again. That's something I do in order to grow. Now, when it comes to compound movements, they're very important because they target more than just one muscle. And that's really important when it comes to bulking up. You want to focus on something like squats, dips, bench, chin-ups, pull-ups, push-ups, those kind of exercises target more than one muscle group, because it will be much more easier for you if you work all of those muscle groups together, combined, and it will save you much more time instead of just doing the isolation movements and like kind of bodybuilding style movements in order to grow, okay? There's one wonderful example that I want to share with you guys. So let's say you're doing biceps curls. When it comes to biceps curls, you're adding stress just on your biceps, okay? And when you do chin-ups, for example, you're adding stress to your biceps and back muscles as well, your lats especially. Now I hope you see like what do I mean by doing compound movements, okay? And you can maybe do as well some weighted chin-ups that will add even more stress to your muscles. Focus on adding more reps, then adding the weight again, adding more reps, and you will potentially like be a beast. That's what I mean. So we got the first two covered. Now the last one are going to be the workout and rest days, okay? When it comes to bulking up, you need to focus on rest. Rest is really important, okay? As a beginner, 3 working days, 4 rest days. As you progress, you have 4 working days and then 3 rest days, okay? Now, when it comes to splits, okay? When it comes to splits, like workout split, Arnold split, bro split, push-pull leg split, a lot of people ask me, what is your favorite split? Personally, I don't have my own like personal favorite split. I just try a lot of different ones and really see what personally suits me within my lifestyle. And that's also what I do with my clients as well. We see, okay, how can you combine that with school? How much time we have on, let's say, Wednesday? Okay, how much time we have on Sunday, Saturday, Monday? Okay, maybe on Monday we can add legs because legs take, longer. And then you can do legs on Monday because you have more time on Monday, and then do some exercises for the shoulders because your shoulders are going to be, pretty much fast recovered. So you can focus on your shoulders as well. That kind of things, When it comes to working out your legs, you need to make sure you're working them at least 1 time per week, okay? Personally, I do them 2 times per week, okay? I combine that with also 8 days of high intense cardio. I'm also a professional athlete when it comes to playing handball. So it is pretty hard, but it fits within my schedule, and that suits me personally, It may not suit into your schedule, but you need to work out your legs as well, okay? That's it. When it comes to reps, when it comes to sets, when it comes to how much time your workout is, play with it a little, play with it a little. Maybe do 4 sets, maybe do 5 sets. maybe do 5 sets, start with 10 reps, start with 12 reps, What I like to focus on is just getting to 80% of my capabilities, getting to 80% of my capabilities on each set, okay? Now, the first 2, of course, are going to be warm-up sets, but when it comes to working sets, I like to come to 80% of my capabilities on the first 2 to 3 working sets, and then I go with the last set till failure, or I just add more weight. And then when I come to do the same workout again the next week, what I do is I like to start with the weight I finished, and then I progress from there on. So it's not complicated, okay? It is not complicated. It is not complicated at all. I think the most complicated thing that it is going to be here is going to be the mindset part. If you don't have the mindset part covered, it's really hard to focus then on the nutrition and trainings. If you don't have yourself and your mind, and if you're constantly, within the battle of your own mind, it is really hard to focus on those 2 things as well. If you have all the distractions, all of the bullshit going around in your life, you need to fix those things first, and then focus, and then this will enable you to focus better on nutrition and on the training. Cool? So, of course, there's a lot more details, that come to training and nutrition, but just that information is what got me from 68 kilos to 85 kilos that I am today. And I did that within the time frame of 2 years. So a lot of you guys ask me also, what is your body fat? Are you natural or not? I'm natural, and my body fat is 6%, okay? 6 to 5% the last time I tested it, which was in summertime. So just this information alone got me to the point where I am now. I'm pretty happy with where I am mentally, physically, and when it comes to nutrition as well. Okay, so look, if you made it till the end, congrats. You don't have a fucked up attention span like 90% of the young guys and people do nowadays, okay? Okay, so you watch this video till the end. You may feel hyped, you may feel like you know something more than you did, but you're gonna feel like that for the next 2 hours, maybe for the next 2 days, and then you'll get back to your old life. To the old version of yourself that you actually don't like. And because of that, I have 2 options for you. Okay, I have 2 options for you. And option 1 is you decide to do it yourself, and you maybe stick to it for a month, 2 months, because there's New Year's coming in, and you're gonna have this bullshit feeling of New Year's, New Year, new me, that kind of stuff. And option 2 is to guarantee your results using my technique in the V8 athlete program, as I call it. V8, actually just a badass engine when it comes to cars, building a badass physique is what I mean. Building just an absolute unit of a person. That's the whole mindset behind it, So if you choose for option 1, that's okay. But I can guarantee you will come back to this video and choose the option 2, okay? Because what most people lack in today's world is accountability, and that's why coaching comes in really handy. That's why coaching is your go-to move. If you're lost, if you don't know what to do, if you just cannot stick to something for longer than a month. Reach out to me on Instagram at RockPhysique on Instagram. I'm gonna leave a link to my Instagram down below in the caption. We'll go through a couple of questions, see if you're the right fit, and we can get you to become an absolute unit when it comes to mindset, nutrition, and training within just the first week of starting out, okay? I hope this video helped, and I see you in the next one. Peace.